Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is June 19th, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. Check out this upper level low right across the Gulf of Alaska. This is what's going to be setting up shop here and really reducing our temperatures. Couple rounds of rainfall, thunderstorm potential, even a little bit of higher elevation snowfall. So that's going to bring some gusty winds with it as well. So we'll take a look at those details. We'll take a look at what is to come in the extended forecast as we go through the video here this morning. Yesterday's lightning activity just clipping northern portions of Washington, British Columbia, pretty good coverage there as well. But we're going to be changing this up here over the next couple of days. We introduce this threat across portions of Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and Montana. This is for day one today, eastern Oregon, Idaho, and you got to go across western Montana to get some of that stronger wind here with some of these storms potentially. But day two, look at that. They introduced that thunderstorm threat here for western Washington and western Oregon. So we're going to be watching that one as we get some rounds of thunderstorms here moving across the region. You know, these aren't going to be widespread lightning producers there, but you can't rule out a few strikes there. And I know the weather weenies here across western Washington, western Oregon are looking forward to that. Also, just a reminder here, especially east of the mountains, you don't have to be in this elevated risk here to be in some of the enhanced fire danger into summer after all. And when these gusty winds come rolling across the area here, it doesn't have to be super dry out there. Even with this upper level low, you can still kick off some of this fire danger. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Also, the Tempest Home Weather Station, click on the link down below if you want to save 10% off. This weather station is extremely fun. You will not regret it. I have two of these that I test at my house. They are very fun. So yeah, check it out. Click on that link down below. Now, if you want to go to the Patreon page and send me any images that you get here across the region or just discuss weather in general or whatnot, you can go ahead and do so. You can see this dust devil picture somebody sent me here, Mark Hartley, about a week ago now. But yeah, Patreon page is good for helping to support the channel as well. So Boise National Weather Service, the graphic they put out this morning here is quite nice. And you can see it kind of encapsulates things pretty well. A little bit of higher elevation snowfall, some chilly temperatures, some gusty winds, thunderstorms out there. So yeah, you guys know what to do, especially for often across the backcountry, no doubt. Now, look at a composite reflectivity. This is the North American model. I'm going to update this because this is running hot off the presses, the 12Z run. Let's go ahead and see what it shows. But as we go through the day today, you see some of these thunderstorms popping off across eastern Oregon, Idaho, Montana. And again, if you go across Montana, some of those could be packing a punch with some wind. And also, some of these cells are pretty strong across eastern Oregon. See, we're right near Baker there as we go through this evening. So heads up for that. Some of those could be packing a punch and be prolific lightning producers as well. So we scroll on in through Friday morning, see some showers starting to emerge across western Washington, western Oregon. You see the spin in the atmosphere as we get another round of thunderstorms across Idaho and Montana as we go through the day Friday. And again, you can't rule out a lightning strike or two with some of this activity here across western Washington, western Oregon. So there's that upper level low spinning, and watch as it drops some of this wraparound moisture with the spin in the atmosphere back across western Washington, back across western Oregon as we go through the day Saturday. Saturday is going to be a very chilly day, relatively speaking. Highs struggling to reach up into the lower 60s. The all-time daily record low high temperature for Portland on this day, Saturday, June 21st, I believe is 60 degrees. I looked at my records and that's what I came up with. But yeah, that is going to be close here. We're probably going to get right around 60, maybe 61 for Portland. So yeah, very chilly temperatures for this time of year. Now, look at the European. So this has this upper level low setting up shop right over it. So if you look at that, you had to zero to this to get the official 500 millibar height, so 5520. So remember that number there. And if I go towards the soundings for Quileute on the Washington coast, and I scroll along here and I go to June 21st, the daily min over there on the right says 5530. So yeah, this could be the lowest 500 millibar heights for this time of year for Quileute. It's not unheard of. You tend to get some of this activity here at this time of year during the month of June. And you can see as we go through our warmest period here, of course, the tropospheric polar vortex tends to lose its punch there because, we're heat in the northern hemisphere there. But as we start to drop back into the fall and the winter months, you can see how these troughs definitely get colder and these systems get stronger as they roll in here towards the end of the year. But during the summertime, the inverse is true as we are definitely warmed up here across much of the northern hemisphere. So taking a look here again with our very chilly upper level low nearing record chilly temperatures there at 500 millibars, you can see if I scroll back and forth, I'm now toggling back and forth. But as we go through the day Friday, precipitation starts, the upper level lows are around, we get the wraparound moisture as we go through the day Saturday, keeping things very chilly. Thunderstorm potential both days here across the region, even west of the Cascades. And then we scroll off in towards next week and kind of see the showers hanging on as we go through Monday night. And then we start to dry out a bit here as we go towards Tuesday. Still some residual showers. Can't be ruled out across the higher terrain. Taking a look at lightning flash density potential in the European, it shows it mainly here as we go on in through the day Friday. Let me show you this here. You can see it start to emerge across some of southwest BC, some of western Washington. Shows one right near the Seattle metro, just south, pretty close to SeaTac there as we go through tomorrow afternoon. And you can see some of these showers here with that lightning potential on the high resolution rapid refresh as we go through Friday afternoon and Friday evening. Then you can see the spin in the atmosphere again as we go out towards 48 hours, and maybe on the day Saturday we'll kick off another storm there west of the Cascades as well. So lightning flash density potential according to the European, and it again shows us destabilizing here as we go through Friday afternoon. So just kind of driving home that point. Now precipitation totals. This is what a lot of people want to know about, is how much rain am I going to get at my house? Well, if we scroll through Sunday morning here, you can see Portland besting Seattle. Seattle about a third of an inch of rain, trended a little bit down, showed about 4/10 of an inch there at times yesterday. But look at some of the coastal range for Oregon, the Cascades of Oregon, the big winner, some of the southern Washington Cascades. BC, not too bad. Of course, the Columbia River Basin out there tends to get a bit less, but some of the higher terrain of eastern Oregon, off across the Rocky Mountains, doing a little bit better there. And then we wrap up that shower activity there as we go through Monday night or so. Seattle maybe getting up towards 4/10 of an inch when all things are said and done. But look at Portland, up over half an inch, maybe up over 3/4 of an inch of precipitation. Also very beneficial at this time of year. So if we look at the European, this is the deterministic run. I just showed you the ensemble mean. So again, as we go on in through Saturday night, you can kind of see it has a little bit less for Seattle, maybe right around a third of an inch of rain, but better amounts across Oregon as well. Willamette Valley, some of the Cascades here doing quite nicely as far as precipitation concerned. You can see some localized areas getting up over 1.5 inches, maybe up towards 2 inches of precipitation. Now, this is total snow, just kind of showing you guys, this is just a heads up for the higher terrain folk out there. You might be camping and whatnot, and you had your plans set in advance here for June 20th through 21st out across the higher terrain. And yeah, you don't have to be in the snow to notice the chill in the atmosphere. So yeah, just kind of showing you that there is some upper level snowfall potentially as we go on in through Saturday. And as we go through Sunday here, that system, of course, will be moving off to the east. We're going to put an end to that snow threat across some of our highest peaks, at least for the time being. Now, I'm going to excuse me, frog in my throat here. We're going to back up here all the way. This is today, Thursday, June 19th. So this is today. See Seattle up towards 70 degrees, some mid-70s. Willamette Valley, warmer east of the mountains as well. Boise looking into the lower 90s. But look as we go through tomorrow, temperatures really getting suppressed. Only, 61 for Portland, 62 for Seattle. Cooling things down east of the mountains as well. And look at Saturday. Portland struggling to reach 60 degrees. And on Saturday, June 21st, again, Portland, I think the all-time record low high temperature there is 60 degrees, so we might challenge that. If we only hit 59, that'd be kind of an interesting record to set. And if we take a look there, this is for Seattle in 1981. It only reached 57 degrees on the state. We're probably going to warm up a little bit more than that for Seattle. The all-time daily record high was set back in 1992 for 89 degrees. We're nowhere near that. We're going to be 25 plus degrees off of that. But yeah, the all-time low high temperature is about 57 for Seattle. So we're not going to get that one. But for Portland, you can see on June 21st, the 60 is right there, set back in 1991. So if we hit 59, we would set that record there. The all-time daily record high set back in 1992 was 96 degrees. What a difference a year made for Portland there between 1991 and 1992. 36 degrees difference in the high temperature. Now, also a reminder here that you guys go back into your memory here on 2021. you can see what Seattle and most of the Pacific Northwest underwent here, what we were dealing with at this time last June. We were starting to see the models show an extreme heat wave there. And of course, Seattle wrapped up 102, 104, and 108 in 3 consecutive days. So what a change from 4 years ago, as with upper level low, and the troughing has been pretty persistent here for much of the month of June, overall speaking, and it continues to show through the end of the month. But yeah, remember that a few years ago, what exactly we were dealing with our record heat dome. Now, our artificial intelligence European model, I just want to kind of show you. We're going to take a look at the extended forecast. Again, the chilly upper level low with us as we go through the weekend. Ridging tries to nose in just a hair, but it doesn't last long. We get the zonal flow back here across the area. Troughing trying to hang out. Little bit of a bump there as we go towards the end of the month. Maybe we'll warm up a little bit here, but I'll show you the other models here in a moment. Again, it depends on where this low sets up across the Gulf of Alaska. It's going to help amplify a ridge here, or is this just going to be more westerly flow and keep things on the cooler side? But then as we go on into the early portion of July, the troughing is still there as we go through July 2nd. Now we're into July 3rd. And the old saying goes here across Pacific Northwest is that summer doesn't start until July 5th. That may ring true here again this year. We'll see how that goes. But you can see the troughing hanging out all the way on into July 3rd. If we look at the European ensemble mean, again, the gold standard here for 500 millibars, put that into motion. There's the upper level low that we're dealing with this weekend. Try to nose a ridge in here. It doesn't make much headway at all. We keep that troughing going across the Gulf of Alaska. Zonal flow would keep us, seasonable at best here across the region. Troughing hanging out all the way through the extended period, all the way on in through July 3rd. So let's see if summer starts on July 5th or somewhere pretty close to it as we go on in through the next few weeks. We'll be watching that and breaking it down on a daily basis. Here's the GFS. So sometimes the GFS can actually sniff out some patterns, and let's see if it shows anything interesting through the extended. There goes our low pressure system. That ridge tries to build a hair across the Pacific Ocean. Doesn't make much headway. Gulf of Alaska troughing is somewhat there. You can see the trough kind of hanging out across Pacific Northwest as we go towards the end of the month. Again, replaced by another upper level low moving through Western Canada. But the GFS continues to show troughing here as well as we go all the way on into the July 3rd timeframe. And of course, it wouldn't be a GFS extended run without a hurricane coming across the Gulf of Mexico and slamming into Louisiana and the state of Texas there. You kind of throw those extended forecasts out there, and I better turn off my volume there. But yeah, let's take a look at 2-meter temperature anomaly in the European ensemble mean. Of course, you see our upper level low hanging out there, but it does show us definitely bouncing back more towards normal here as we go towards the end of the month. We'll see how that goes. No point in getting too caught up in that just yet. But if we look all the way out in the European extended forecast, this goes through the end of July now, basically. This is a 7-day running 2-meter temperature anomaly. So again, as we go through July, you can kind of see things right around normal there, but look what happens when we go towards the end of July. We start to ramp things up, so maybe we'll start to get some flirtation with some heat waves there as we go through the end of the month of July. So yeah, you can kind of see that as we warm up. Who knows about that? Take that with a grain of salt as well. 6 to 10 day. This goes through June 24th through 28th. Again, a little bit skeptical of that. We'll see how that goes. We'll be breaking that down. It shows an above average signal there. 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook. Also same thing there as well. Kind of a tough signal to deal with some of that westerly flow. How much precipitation will that actually bring the region? Good question. Taking a look here, I've been showing you guys some of the data here from the channel, and since 2025 has started here, you can see almost 2.8 million views. And from what I understand, the amount of subscribers that come back to view this channel is exceptionally high for a channel. Look at that, almost 60% of my views, over 59%, are from people who are already subscribed. So I think that bodes well as far as people returning to watch the video. So again, thanks very much. Thanks to all my paying members. This channel is not possible without you. There's the join button down below if you want to go ahead and be inclined to join and help support the channel. But look at the watch time hours as well. Over 175,000 hours of watch time makes up almost 2/3 of the viewing here on this channel. And people watch for an average of about 6.5 minutes, which is pretty impressive as well. So hopefully we're getting new subscribers, but at the same time, looks like there's a very loyal channel fan base here as well. So again, thanks to everybody out there. Can't wait to see what comes as we go through the fall and the winter months, as these big systems come through here and things get crazy and everybody gets hyped up about whatever is next to come. Or maybe we'll get some fun thunderstorm activity here coming up, or maybe a big windstorm, or who knows what's going to happen in the future. But anyway, click like and subscribe. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.